What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Ben Richardson. I am the best looking chemical engineer with a crooked nose on the face of the entire planet. And in today's video, I'm gonna give you 7 tips to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Now, if you're new here, I want you to subscribe to my channel because my channel is gonna teach you how to live a healthy, sustainable life through nutrition, fitness, and lifestyle decisions that you make overall. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe and turn those notification bells on too so that you don't miss out on any of my latest content. So by the time you're finished watching this video, you'll have 7 tips under your belt to start losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time. And make sure you stick around for the whole thing because when you use all 7 of these tips at the same time, you're gonna get the best and the fastest results. So let's go ahead and get into it. So tip number 1 is to eat in a mild calorie deficit. So you definitely have to eat in a calorie deficit if you want to lose fat. However, you still need to eat enough food to support muscle growth or muscle retention. And this is where a lot of people go wrong because they'll set out to lose fat and they know that they have to cut their calories in order to lose fat, which is true, but they'll shoot for like 1,200 calories a day, sometimes even 1,000, and that's just not enough food to support gaining strength and gaining muscle, and it's just not, you're not gonna feel good when you stick to a calorie deficit that aggressive. So what I recommend is take your body weight in pounds and multiply it by the number 13, and that should give you a pretty mild calorie deficit that's going to be enough that you can lose body fat, but you can still progress in building muscle and gaining strength in the gym. So just for an example, I'm going to take a 170 pound person, let's say, and multiply that by 13, 170 times 13, that's about 2,200 calories. And that's still a calorie deficit, but it's also enough food that you're gonna be able to support your training. So eat in a mild calorie deficit. And tip number 2 is to track your macronutrients. So your macronutrient ratio is very important. Your body needs a balance of fats, carbs, and protein in your diet for you to sustain hormonal balance, keep your energy levels high, and you want to be feeling good while you're trying to cut body fat. If you're eating the recommended calories from step number 1, then I recommend a macronutrient split of 25% protein, 45% carbs, and 30% fat. Now I know that may seem a little high in carbs and maybe even low in protein, but I am telling you, carbohydrates, ramping up your carb intake is really gonna help support hormonal health, and your hormones dictate everything about your body. They dictate how you feel, your mood throughout the day, your energy levels, your sleeping patterns, your hunger levels, all of it. Carbs play a very important role in sustaining optimal hormone function, so you don't want to be cutting those out of your diet. And then protein, it's important that you eat enough protein, but you don't need an insane amount of protein to lose body fat or build muscle. Ironically, a lot of people who set out to build muscle eat a crazy amount of protein, but carbohydrates are actually much more important for building muscle as opposed to protein. So protein definitely is important, but you don't need an insane amount of it, but you still gotta eat enough. So eat in a mild calorie deficit and eat an appropriate macronutrient ratio, and you will be losing fat and gaining muscle in no time. All right, so tip number 3, kind of more on the training side, is to use reverse pyramid training. Now, if you haven't checked out my video about reverse pyramid training, go ahead and watch that, but most of us are familiar with standard pyramid training. If you're watching this video, you're probably into fitness. I'm assuming you lift weights. If not, check out my video about how to start lifting weights. Anyways, you definitely want to use reverse pyramid training because it's such a great training technique to build strength and muscle at the same time. And there is a difference. Just because you have big muscles doesn't necessarily mean you're strong, and just because you're strong doesn't necessarily mean that you have big muscles. So I use myself as an example. I'm definitely strong, but by no means am I one of the biggest guys in the gym. And that's because I train with that specific goal in mind. I don't love being gigantic or having super gigantic muscles or whatever, but I like to challenge my body and get stronger week after week. So that's just kind of my preference. But using reverse pyramid training is a great training technique that you can use to optimize both strength and muscle mass. All right, tip number 4 is to limit how many workouts you do to 3 per week. So I always say less is more in the art of strength training, and that is true, and that's why I recommend this. Train 3 days per week on non-consecutive days, meaning that you allow 1 day between your workouts for you to rest and recover. And the reason this is so effective is because each and every time that you go into the gym, your body is going to be fresh and you're going to be ready to hit a hard workout. Recovery is literally half the battle when it comes to losing fat and gaining muscle, or at least retaining what you have. So opt for 3 workouts per week, allow 1 day between your workouts to rest and recharge, and you're going to be losing fat and building muscle in no time using this tip. Tip number 5 is to get 10,000 steps a day. Walking definitely is one of my favorite forms of cardio. A lot of people don't consider it cardio, but I actually think it is an ideal form of cardio. First off, walking has been used as a standard of fitness for military members for literally thousands of years. So if it worked for them, it'll work for you too. And walking is also great because you're gonna burn extra calories, but it's gonna have a very neutral effect on your appetite. So with other training methods, in terms of cardio, like traditional steady state cardio, those tend to really ramp up your hunger because, you know, they're intense and they're a little bit more difficult. Walking it's pretty low intensity, so I definitely recommend shooting to get 10,000 steps a day. This is not gonna kill your gains or anything, and it's gonna burn a few extra 100 calories depending on how long you walk or how far you walk. So I would definitely recommend that you get outside, get some vitamin D, get some sun exposure, and get out in nature. It's very relaxing to just go for a walk. You'll burn a few hundred extra calories, and it's just a great way to recharge also. All right, tip number 6 is to do a weekly refeed day. So what I mean by a refeed day is you're gonna wanna bump your calories up by like 400 or 500 once per week. Now, this is a great thing to do in terms of lifestyle because a lot of people go out on the weekends. Something that I hear very often is, oh yeah, I can stick to my diet during the week, but then the weekend comes and, you know, I do fun stuff and my friends are going out and whatnot, or I have birthday parties or weddings, whatever it is. There's something that gets in the way of people following their diet very strictly, and rather than just suffering through it and saying no and practicing sheer willpower, just lean into it. So allow yourself a few hundred extra calories on your refeed day so that you can just enjoy yourself. So when you set out to lose fat and you eat in a calorie deficit, you inevitably are gonna put some amount of stress on your body, and that's gonna do a little bit of damage to your metabolic rate. Not like detrimental, but it's inevitable. You have to place some stress on your metabolism if you want to lose fat. So doing a weekly refeed day is going to really mitigate the damaging effects of being in a calorie deficit. So in a nutshell, it's going to keep your metabolism as high as you can possibly keep it while you are cutting, and that is ideal because the higher your metabolism is, the more calories you're burning and the better you're going to feel also, and that is key. If you're feeling good while you're cutting, you are going to be able to sustain it for a very long time. And then tip number 7 is to accept that it is going to take a little bit longer. So this can be a difficult thing for people to accept. You know, it's gonna take a little bit longer. You know, you eat in a mild calorie deficit and you don't cut as aggressively, the body fat's gonna come off a little bit slower, but you're still giving your body enough calories to support your training and build strength, build muscle, whatever it is that you are trying to do. But I have always been a fan of the saying, take the long road because it is shorter. Those are true words of wisdom, and in a nutshell, what that means is sticking to a routine that you can sustain for weeks and months and even years That is the key to making progress, because when you are consistent and you can sustain your routine and you can stay at it, that is where your results are going to come from. So accept that it might take a little bit longer, but just keep in mind always, slow and steady wins the race. So there you have it, 7 tips to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. This is definitely something that is great to naturally boost your testosterone levels. Also, if you lose fat and gain muscle, then it's one of the best ways that you can increase your testosterone. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, implement all 7 of these tips into your routine for the best and the fastest results. And I know I said that you have to accept that it might take a little bit longer, but do everything on this list and you're gonna be getting results in no time. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you are interested in learning how to live a healthy, sustainable lifestyle through nutrition, through fitness, and lifestyle decisions as well, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Turn the notifications on because I'm gonna be posting content like this every single week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.